All right, bud. Brandy, our buddy Brandy, our friend Brandy wants us to come over and look at her car. I think it's a 65 Nova.
Hello?
Yeah, what's up, Brandy?
What's up?
Okay, Weekly Loser just showed up.
Okay.
So, what's up on your car? What kind of car is it again?
65 Chevy 2.
It's a 65 Chevy 2. What's the difference between a Chevy 2 and a Chevy 1?
I don't know.
Oh, that just means that
I know it's an SS Nova.
it's an SS Nova.
Yeah.
So it's a big block Chevy Nova.
Nope, but the title says SS, but it has a 194 in it. So I don't
It
know
has
why
a
it's
six-cylinder 194 SS.
It's a 194 cubic inch engine. It's an inline six inside of the car. That's why I don't understand how it's SS.
But it says an SS on it.
Yeah.
Super Sport.
On the title.
It's
It's
a
not the square back end like the 66, 67. It's more of the
Square.
kind of rounded. Yeah, kind of rounded off looking.
So it's a little square box type car.
Yeah, basically.
All right, Brandy. We'll see you later.
All right, dude.
All right. All right. You just heard the situation, okay, loser?
65, 75, 80. You know, count on your fingers. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
What is wrong with it? I count with my fingers all the time.
You know what, though? But CPS said, you know...
I don't give a fuck what CPS says. It's a bunch of man-haters over there. Who gives a rat
They
shit?
chastised me for not having...
They chastised you? They put a chastity belt on you?
For not having... It's a figure of speech, Pete.
Oh.
For not having made sure that he knew...
Okay, listen, you're getting off whack here, dude. We're not talking about that. We're talking about a 65 Nova. Can we go look at it?
The years, so 75, 85, 95, 2005.
It's a 48-year-old car.
Yeah, it's an SS. Does it have SS on the side?
I guess. I don't know, dude.
I imagine.
Do you know what SS stands for?
Super Sport.
Yeah.
Time for Pete's Car Smart. Pete's Car Smart. Pete's Car Smart. Where even the littlest tech tips make a big, big, big difference.
All right, we just rolled up over here to Brandy's, and as you see in the background right there, you can see there's her Nova. It's a six-cylinder. She said the title says SS. I don't believe it's an SS, but that's a faulty flaw. Let's go look at that thing, and let's see what we got and see what it's going to take to rebuild and restore this 1965 Chevy Nova.
I got
What's
it.
going on?
Not much. Just
So how you doing?
Pretty good.
Yeah. Been getting screwed around by the man any lately?
Oh,
None of that going on?
Always.
Always?
Always.
Every day?
The man's on duty every day, isn't he?
Yeah. Does
Hell,
not
the
sleep.
man might drive by and see this old clunker sitting out here and give you a ticket because it ain't tagged and titled and you got it parked outside.
Hey, I already got a ticket for it.
Are you serious? You got a ticket already on this thing?
Yeah, that's why I pulled it out to take everything out of it, clean it out, vacuum and all that. And it was out here for about 3 days.
Right.
And they came by and stickered. Guy over here had a 70 Nova. And I don't know what he did with it, but it's been there since I've been here. I've been here 3.5 years, and it's never moved from there, and he got rid of it.
Well, they got a new inspector, you know.
Yeah.
See, what the deal is, they get these inspectors, and they get a little bit of authority, and they kind of override that authority power and think they're God.
Yeah, the man.
You know, in 3 or 4 years, when they get tired of being, you know, the authoritized person, they usually calm down.
Right.
So anyway, we got a 1965 Nova, and it looks like it's in very rough shape, Brandy.
It is.
Do you really think this car is worth $1,300?
It is to me.
Did you get a clear title with it, or?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so this isn't like a barn find or a field rat that doesn't come with a title. You did get a title. Now, do you got all the front end parts, or is this basically how you got it?
This is how I got it. The front end is pretty shot.
Yeah.
which they didn't have good front ends anyway. So.
Right. Now, what do you want to do to it, Brandy?
What I plan on doing is putting a IFS on the front of it.
IFS. What? Can you tell everybody what that is?
Independent front suspension.
Which would be what, like a Mustang 2, or?
Yeah, Mustang 2 suspension on it.
Why would you want to do that to the Nova, though?
Because it has really bad suspension. And
Yeah. What kind of suspension does that have, Brandy?
Crappy suspension.
I'm gonna let you do the talking.
I just heard that they're really hard to keep aligned, and
They are? Let me
Yeah.
look at that front suspension and let my friend Pete see what we got, all right?
check it out.
And basically what Brandy's talking about, this is the suspension right here. This would be your upper and lower control arms, and if you look at this setup they got, it's kind of like a Mustang setup where the springs and the shocks are up on the top. And she's saying that it's a very squirrely ride. She's saying that it's all over the road and it was just inexpensive, cheesy type front suspension, and she wants to upgrade that to a higher quality suspension that might be possible to do. So you want to upgrade the front suspension. What else you want to do, Brandy?
Well, I'm gonna yank that I6 out of there.
The i6?
Yeah.
Why do you call it an i6? What's an i6?
It's an inline 6.
Inline 6. So is that what that's a 6 right there.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Let's look at that inline 6 and see what we got. Yeah, I can see why you want to yank it out of there.
Yank
It doesn't even run. Wow. So what do you think with today's gas mileage and gas prices? Would you leave the 6 in there or go with the V8?
It'd be better to leave the inline 6 in there, but
Yeah. But you're trying to make a muscle car out of this, right?
yeah,
A sleeper.
Yeah.
A street rod.
350 in it. Stroke it.
Uh-huh. Now, are you going to do all that yourself, Brandy?
I'm gonna have help. I mean, I can't do it all by myself.
Yeah. What do you plan on doing by yourself?
I'm actually gonna sandblast the whole body.
You're going to sandblast or soda?
I'm not gonna use soda because it's got a lot of rust.
But you can't sandblast. You can't sandblast this car because it'll warp the steel, Brandy.
Can't I use beaded
Soda
glass?
bead blasting or soda blasting would be a lot better.
Yeah.
All right. Now, as far as this goes right here, we would really have to be able to strip this down to see how far the rust is, because this little rust section here, if it was just that right there, that's actually repairable.
Okay.
But usually when you have rust like that, it's usually rotted and rusted all the way underneath that headlight bucket there. And then the bottom of your fenders look pretty good, but I'm actually looking at this fender and I see that it's been wrecked pretty bad and crushed.
Yeah.
My personal opinion is you would have to buy new fenders.
Yeah. This has been.
I wouldn't even mess with the fenders. And then you got the filler panel inside here. You got all these braces. Sometimes you can straighten these braces, but the situation is you can probably buy them a lot cheaper than replacing them. And then your core support, it's kind of looking a little bit rough, but as long as it's not rotted and rusted, that's still in good shape. If you look at the inside here, you can see this kind of resembles a Mustang, Brandy. You see what I'm saying?
Kind of like a Falcon.
Yeah, kind of like the Falcon. There you go. All right. I was saying Mustang because we got how many Mustangs we got? 2 Mustangs at the shop now, and I got Mustangs on my. But you're exactly right. This is the Chevy version of a Falcon,
Yeah.
which is basically like a Mustang.
Basically.
Do you see what I'm saying? So what you want to look at, you want to look at all these inner fenders here, see, and make sure all those are straight and they're not crushed up and they're not rotted out. And yours look like they're in actually pretty good shape. So your engine compartment looks good. All right. Changing the front suspension on this, they probably make an aftermarket front suspension package, which is a lot better than cutting everything out and putting a Mustang 2 front suspension on it. You can probably upgrade everything to their version or whoever's, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To beef it up and make it better. The hood will probably need replaced, Brandy, because the hood is wrecked in this corner.
Yeah, it's bit.
Now, fixing this hood right here would be very, very technical. If you can open it one more time, I'm going to tell you why. Because of all this inner structure right here, okay?
Oh, wow.
This is a double wall hood on the edges for strength. So to straighten this hood out right here would be a nightmare.
Yeah.
So far we're looking at 2 fenders and a hood. That means the whole front clip. And then of course the bumper, that's non-straightenable. The chrome shop would probably tell you to, throw it in the trash. All right, so far we're looking at 2 fenders. Yeah, I would say that fender needs replaced, Brandy.
Yeah, that was trash.
All right, so we look over here and you kind of look at that door and you tell yourself, you say, wow, what's going on with that? Look at that. The door's sticking way out. Well, the door's not really sticking way out. It's the fender is pushed way in.
Yeah.
All right, and then you start looking at the door again, and what do we see right here, Brandy?
Rust.
We see rust in the bottom corner of that door. That's pretty common. And what happens is water goes down inside the door right here, and then it'll settle down in there along with all the moisture and the dirt and crap, you know. So that would lead you into opening the door. Do you see what I'm saying, Brandy? I'm trying to teach you something here.
Thank you.
All right, and then what you do is you kind of look up under this door here, and you say, well, is the bottom of the door rotted out? And you say, no, that door's in pretty good shape. So that's a repairable, fixable door, so you don't have to buy doors. All right? Now, look next to the door down there. What do we got, Brandy?
Right.
We got some rot, but it isn't bad enough where we have to replace it.
Doesn't
What do
look
you
like
think?
it, no.
Do you think that would have to be replaced, replace that quarter panel, or would you just make a patch panel for that?
I'd patch it.
You would patch that.
Yeah.
Now, they also make factory patch panels that are already molded to that. Do you see what I'm saying, Brandy?
Is that considered the rocker or not?
No, the rocker panel is actually underneath. This is the rocker panel. See this line as you roll around? This is all rocker panel. That shouldn't be rotted out because those are actually, back in the day, they were made out of galvanized steel.
Okay.
So the rocker panel should be okay. But as far as the quarter panel goes, I would investigate and see if they have a patch panel for that section down there. And then over here, of course, I know they make a lower quarter panel. You'd have to buy one of those.
Okay.
So then what you want to do is you want to come up in here, see, and you want to check all your fender wells, and yours look really good. Is this a Texas car, Brandy?
Yes.
So you think this car's from Texas?
I think it's from Texas,
Okay.
yes.
It looks like it's in pretty good shape. What makes this car look ugly is your front end looks like shit, because it's not fitting right, and your bumpers are in bad shape, but the rest of it so far is looking good. That door right there can be pulled out. Do you see how that's pushed in?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see it. Looks
With the
like it got
right
pinched.
tools, that can be pulled out perfect.
Okay.
Now we got something going on with the trunk here, Brandy. What's up? It looks like the hinges are sprung or you're missing something. Can you open the trunk? Is there any way possible?
Yeah. I have a magic tool. Bam.
Okay.
Yikes.
So the trunk lid is in a good shape, but the problem we have is there's something funny going on with these hinges. So the next thing you want to do, you want to look at the hinges and you want to see if there's any adjustment. And on these Novas, okay, if you look right in this area here, I don't know if you can see that. These just happen to have the adjustable hinge plates where you can move that up and down. So on this particular car, you got lucky.
I did.
Because if you're working on a 63 Impala, those things are spot welded and set in place. There's no adjustment at all and you're screwed.
Okay.
So the trunk looks in good shape. The floor is going to need replaced.
Okay.
All
That was
right.
my question. Is it going to need to be
The whole,
whole floor or the middle section?
okay, if they sell just the middle section only, okay, I would go with just the middle section. Now, a lot of these cars rust out because of the gas tank.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you why and show you if it's still in here. I don't even know if it's in there. What they do is they put a piece of tar paper on top of the gas tank.
Oh.
And then when they put the gas tank in, that is touching the floor. Do you see what I'm saying?
I see.
So what happens, what do you think happens with that situation?
Moisture.
Moisture gets trapped in there, dirt gets trapped in there, and turns into what? Turns into mud. And it always stays constantly soft all the time. Do you see what I'm saying? Just like this mud right here, look. Now, it rained, what, 4 days ago?
Yeah.
But look how wet the ground still is.
Right.
So imagine that piece of tar paper under there, and moisture and mud and dirt sitting on there all the time. That's what happens. I would also check the gas tank. When we drop the gas tank out, I see that the gas tank's crushed over here. Do you see that?
I do.
All right, I would also check that gas tank, and I would probably replace that gas tank as well and put a brand new gas tank in it. Now this quarter panel over here looks like it's in pretty good shape as well. It's got the identical same problems with it, do you see?
I see.
So that's a good sign that these cars, they gather trash and dust, and dirt and mud down through here when this felt wears out. If you look right here, you can see, look. See that rubber? Well, that used to go all the way across. Once that's gone, water gets down there, and they always go to the lowest spots.
Wow.
So this is the same situation you have here. Now on this door right here, you got rot right here, Brandy,
Yeah, I see.
but that's still fixable. All right, and then of course from this being wrecked, somebody opened the door and crushed this in, and you know, this, that, and the other. So actually, this car's not in bad shape, Brandy.
Okay.
It's in actually pretty good shape. Let's look inside on the floor here. I'm sorry, is there something funny?
Well,
Why are we laughing about this? Brandy asked me to come over. I thought,
What do you know how
but I don't understand. Why
Fred
is it funny?
Flintstone has to put his feet on the
Oh,
ground?
okay, we're laughing at this.
Yeah.
All right. All right, Brandy, on this particular car, on this situation, replacing just that section ain't gonna cut it.
Right.
You're gonna have to get a whole left side for this floor. And the reason I say that is because it's rotted under the seat right here, and it's also rotted back here. So if we patch that one up and then patch this up and then just buy a front piece, that's a lot more work than buying a whole
Just buy the
floor
whole
section.
What about the one? Do I need to get the one that comes all the way up? See how it's rusted there?
Okay, you're talking about that surface rust right there?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't replace that.
It's cracked. Yeah.
Well, I see where you're talking about, and the new floor should go override that.
Okay.
Okay. Now on this side of the floor, let's see what we got over here. That's got a lot of surface rust, but I think that would clean up. Okay, I don't think that that's going to need replaced. And right there, we can probably patch that section. Do you see what I'm saying? So, the things that I would order, if you were going to order something, I would order the floor pan, and I would order this trunk. All right? You can always get the fenders and the hood later after you get it running and driving. That's not a necessity right now.
Right.
Now, let's look down the body here. Let's look down the body, because this is another angle that you want to look at. See, you want to take your eye and kind of hit that light as you're looking at it. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you follow the light and you see how straight the body is. And by looking at this car, I don't think there's a lot of Bondo in this car. I don't think that this car has really been fully restored at any time in its life. I think that somebody scuffed it down and painted it one time with this red primer or maroon paint or whatever you want to call it. But as far as any major body work being done to it, I don't believe that this car has ever been worked on before. So what I'm trying to tell you about this car, Brand, is you got a good find here. $1,300. This car was very, very well worth it due to the fact that it's a solid steel car. It doesn't have no Bondo in it, and all the damage is pretty much irrelevant and present, and there's no hidden damage at all.
Okay.
Would you agree with me on that?
Yes.
You would say this is a good buy because of that reason?
Well, I would say it's in good condition for where she wants to go with it.
Right.
As far as whether it's worth $1,300 or $1,500 or $900.
I think it was worth $1,300.
Okay, I'm not very good at that.
Especially if she got a clear title.
Okay, that makes sense.
All right.
Yeah.
Being a car like this, clear titles are hard to
Yeah.
find on this type of a situation.
Okay, yeah, 48 years old.
I got it out of a wrecking
You
yard.
bought this car out of a wrecking
I
yard.
bought it off of a guy. They have a tow truck company,
Uh-huh.
and
He just happened to have it or what?
He had it for sale. He was going to keep it and do it himself. He started to yank the engine and decided he didn't have time, so
Right.
he sold it.
Well, Brandy, I think you got a good little project going here. Now, let me ask you a question. Okay, of course, I'm going to do the welding and stuff. What are you going to do to it?
Like I said, once I take all the stuff off of it that needs to be taken off of it,
Uh-huh.
all of this, take all the stuff
Oh, you're
off.
going to remove all the chrome. You're going to do all the handles. You're going to strip it down.
Yeah, I'm
and-
going to take everything off.
Right.
I got somebody that's going to come help me take that engine out and
Okay.
junk it, because I haven't been able to find anybody that wants to buy it.
Right.
So I'm going to take everything out, and I'm going to start sand blasting it. Found a place out in Mansfield that uses that beaded glass or whatever.
Uh-huh. Yeah, bead. Yeah, sand. Yeah.
Yeah. he
Bead
told-
blasting.
Yeah.
I don't think this car needs bead blasted, because I'm telling you, this car here is a pretty solid car, and it's probably got 2 coats of paint. To save me money,
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you, Brandy, I would strip that by hand myself for about $150. Do you understand what I'm trying to say, loser?
Yeah, 2 or 3 gallons of stripper and
2 or 3 gallons of stripper and probably a day's worth of work, and you would have this thing down to bare metal. Now, there is something that you could have sandblasted, and I'm going to tell you what. I wouldn't soda blast, I would sandblast. I would go ahead and dismantle these front end parts, pull the motor and tranny out, take it down to the sandblasters, and have them sandblast the whole bottom of the car, the firewall, and all the front suspension.
Okay.
That way, what you can do is you get it back, you put the epoxy primer on it, and you paint it black, and it's brand new.
Okay.
That's going to be about $250 to do that.
All right.
$300.
Strip it
That's
down.
where I would put my money in, and then I would strip it by hand, and you're still saving yourself a couple $100.
Okay.
So, you know, Brandy got a good deal on her car, $1,300, and she's willing to do a lot of the work by herself. She's a go-getter type girl, and I believe that she's gonna get her done. The first thing she needs to do, though, is before stripping or sanding or anything, is to get that rust fixed. There's no sense stripping it down until she has all the panels to purchase and all the stuff right there ready to roll. This is Pete, my friend Pete, your friend Pete, showing you and telling you how to get a car, why to buy a car, and how to do it. Because if Brandy can do it, you can do it.
Yeah, and told me to come out. So that saves me shipping because he's overseas.
Thanks for watching D.I.Y. Automotive School. Classes don't stop till you know everything.